there are introverts, and I'm sure you probably know some people who have an introverted character. There are also extroverts. Now, an extrovert is obviously the opposite of an introvert. An extrovert is a very loud person, a very opinionated person, somebody who likes to think out loud, somebody who likes to talk loudly, somebody who interrupts. An extrovert is somebody who likes to be around people. Extroverts are, like I say, the opposite of an introvert, or an introverted kind of person is somebody who's very comfortable with silence, somebody who likes to think before they act, somebody who likes to think quietly rather than thinking out loud, somebody maybe who likes to focus on one thing rather than multiple things. Now, when communicating with an introvert or an introverted type of person, there are several things that you can do to vastly improve, to maximise your communication with them. So, I'm sure you know some introverts or introverted type of people, and these are some things that you can use today and onwards to communicate. The first thing you've got to do is be comfortable with silence. Be comfortable with long pauses. Now, if you're the kind of person that's normally quite lively and quite active and quite, full on, you need to bring it down. If you're talking with an introvert, you need to pare that right down and be a lot quieter and be comfortable with large pauses in the conversation. You need to give the other person the space to talk. So quieten it down and be comfortable with large gaps. Now, you might want to ask the person about their day, or better, you might want to ask them, what was the best thing about today? Or what was the best thing about this week? To stimulate a conversation, to get them talking. You're asking them about them, you're asking them, what's the best thing about today? So the open-ended kind of questions. Do not interrupt an introvert. If an introvert takes the time to get started with talking, don't interrupt. I've seen it over and over again in all sorts of different situations where an introverted kind of person has got the energy to start speaking, and then the louder kind of person just big and loud, and then the introvert goes quiet, and maybe for the rest of the day or the meeting. Repeat what you hear, clarify what they've just said up, sum it up and repeat it back to them, and ask for clarification, ask if this is correct when you're talking with an introvert. Now, another thing is that introverts quite often are more comfortable communicating by email or in the written form than they are on the telephone or face-to-face, for example. So remember that it might be advantageous to communicate the majority of the time with this person by email. Now, if you are going to have a meeting, and you're going to have a meeting with this person, make sure you give them plenty of time to prepare, and give them an outline, an overview of what it is that the meeting is about and what you're going to cover in the meeting, and hopefully what you expect. And make sure that there is plenty of time. Now, if you do these things when you are preparing to communicate with an introvert, or communicating via the written word, or when you are directly communicating with an introvert, you will find that they open up, and you will find that they tell you things, and that they share ideas or come up with new things and then share them with you that otherwise otherwise would never have come to light. So today, I'm sure you know some people who exhibit introverted qualities. Now, I'm not saying everybody is either an introvert or an extrovert, that they are one or the other, but maybe you will find that people display more of one characteristic than the other. Maybe so much so that they very rarely display any kind of extrovert behaviour if they're very introverted. So use some of these simple little tips today in your communications with people who are quieter and more introverted, and gently bring them out, allow them to open up and share with you some of the stuff that they know. Have fun with this.